All right, traders. Hey, good morning. Welcome on back here this Wednesday, November 26th. Pre-Thanksgiving. Great to have all of us back just joining us here inside our live trading room. Lawrence, Margaret, Michael, Grant. Got to see later just before earlier. Pat, Roberto, Uday. Got Brad with us here. A few more of us just joining us here. And great to see all of you. Great to have all of us back on social media. Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Popping up lower left as always. I actually got a big computer issue, so I am camera ready, but I got a big old computer issue today. So my webcam is actually down, but popping up right in front of that, just our YouTube at cybertradingu, also on X/Twitter at cybertradingu as well. Make sure to hit the follow or subscribe button down there. But I'll tell you what, guys, a couple things to begin with. Let me start first and foremost, before we even get to the market. I don't want to get ahead of myself here. I want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody, but I want to express my thanks to you, to all of our students here, Lawrence, Allen, Uday, Joyce, all of us here that commit their time and, quite frankly, the money involved with their trading and the education. I am thankful for you to have all of our students here inside our live trading room. We have built such a great community of traders that are, like-minded, that share maybe different thoughts at times, but we are a group of traders that work together and we have fun doing it. So happy Thanksgiving to all of us. And with that in mind, hey, again, I'm super thankful for all of us here, including Fausto. But Fausto will be back at least by the time the market opens. He had to do a quick doctor's thing. He'll be back right for the market open for all of us here. Now, a couple of things to attend to with that, though. We'll get to our Black Friday stuff at the end, but we do have an open house webinar later on today at 12 o'clock Eastern. I believe we have an open house, Fausto, with our introductory to trading webinar. We do typically every Thursday. I can't imagine anybody outside of maybe Canadians. You already had your Thanksgiving, but maybe anyone tomorrow to be there. So we're going to do our intro to day trading webinar today at 12 Eastern. So if you're on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc., that's down below on the bottom there, scrolling in the blue banner. But you could also flash your phone, your camera right here, just with that QR code, scan that. Or you can go right there to c2.co/free. That will get you registered to our webinar later on today at 12 o'clock Eastern. But even before that, how about this little double header here today also? I believe we have our podcast coming out later on today too. That'll be at 11 o'clock, right before this very webinar. But that will be with the great Jeffrey Hirsch. So Traders Almanac, Jeffrey Hirsch, I've met him a bunch of times, most recently a couple of months ago. Maybe a month ago at this point. Time flies at least. But in October for the Traders Summit, he was down there with Fausto and myself in Orlando. But he's come to our Traders Summit event, I think, 2 separate times before, a little while back. So he's a great presenter. He has his Traders Almanac book, and he's going to talk to you about what's ahead going into 2026. From Uday, with the computer issue, would you still be able to conduct the Phase 2 classes today? Absolutely, yes. That was in the past. So I'm still working with said issue, but we have patched a lot of things up and I'm going to do all my normal stuff. I'm doing this very meeting. So we're good to go all together now for the trading room classes. We got Phase 2 today. We got Phase 2 on Friday. Now with that in mind, but yeah, we are good to go. All right, so with that said, let me just go right across the gainers and losers list. We'll build up our watch list going into the market open. We also did pretty well yesterday. Like I brought up, a couple stocks that had moved up pretty well with the market. SPY ended up having a great afternoon, and I was a little reluctant for it to perform as well as it did. So we'll see if there's any slippage going into today or at least by Friday. But otherwise, we did really well across the board. The Kohl's trade coming out with earnings, they popped right out the gate at the market open too. Right here, just continue to build up. Fausto flag basically into the afternoon. That broke out pretty nicely. The Chipotle trade, Fausto has been basically steering the ship forward on this one. I jumped in myself. He's been in from $30.50 or so. He's been talking about this for the last couple of days, last week or so, really looking to see this gap get filled. And hey, something else I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for this stock not popping too soon without me. So I finally jumped in on this trade as he's been calling it out for the last week, but a bunch of our students got in yesterday too. So the Chipotle trade, hey, I'll actually put this on our watch list for the morning, just for the market open. It's not necessarily like a great day trading stock. If it wants to pop again, great. I'll be there for that. But if anything, this is more of a swing trade thought than anything, the Chipotle trade. So Chipotle, we got back on our list at least. What else did we have from yesterday? Smaller cap stock, CETY. It looks a little messy right now, but stock had a good push earlier on yesterday, just shortly after the market opened up. Big pop, big drop, and then thankfully it moved back up going into the mid-afternoon. So that's where we mainly focused around the CETY mid-afternoon. Now the issue on the stock is that it is trending historically down pretty damn steady. So I had better lines just yesterday, but even as such, it was kind of breaking it. It could still be a false breakout and it can come slamming back down again today. So, it's break even right now, technically. If it wants to pop at the end of this meeting and by like 9:15 in the morning, we catch this thing at the end of this broadcast, I'll slip it back on our list. Let it prove itself to us. All right. It did pretty good on a couple other trades briefly, just, WULF, Wolf. We like the stock. It's still holding up pretty well. I'll put it on our side list again for today too. MSTR, this was more of a short kind of going into the early afternoon. MSTR down. It did sling back up when the markets pushed higher. So, MSTR down. We did pretty good on this though. The MSTZ, early to mid-afternoon, like I'd said. So that was a good day trade, at least at that point. What else? SMR on the way down. Nuclear stock's been getting killed of late. So not even just from yesterday, but that was kind of like the icing on the cake just from last week's drop off. We saw a continuation a bit more today, yesterday. But hey, if the markets really make a good rebound, sling back up, as I always say, rising tide rising tide lifts most boats. So in this case, literally, you're going to see OKLO and SMR look to make a small rebound, even though they've been beat up for that long, for that bad. So what we'll do is go across the percent gainers and losers list now, and we'll see what we got here. A couple stocks we'll come back to just at the end, like we'd said from yesterday, from our side list. But for right now, I'd rather focus on trades like AMBR. Obviously making a pretty good move now, up almost 70% so far in the morning, but has good order book, seemingly coming off of some news. So just to expedite time here, I'm just going to put this on our watch list for now. AMBR, I don't think that we've ever really traded this stock before, so I'm going to assume that this thing has been beat up for a while. So again, it's going to suffer the same fate as a lot of those other trades from yesterday, at least. Actually, speaking of which, not to go off course, but what was it? The INHD? Was that the one from yesterday or from the other day? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, check this thing out. I mean, what a run up this had just from the other day back on, what was it, Monday? So I take my eyes off my screen for a bit. That's where I had my computer issues, honestly. So I was at the computer store over in Indian Rock Beach, and I come back, and this thing is it's like a Christmas tree. Just missing a little gold star on the top of it, pretty much, right? It's like a little lopsided Christmas tree there. Maybe I include that pattern into the next phase 1 courses, huh? No, but seriously, though, this trade just got crushed. So AMBR is going to suffer the same fate over time. I guarantee it will. We're going to put it on our list because it's going straight up right now. So we're going to continue to ride the momentum, at least to the upside. MNDR, this thing, a little skeptical. Same thing with this pretty much, because just looking at the long term. But even from the end of last week into the beginning of this week, we were a little suspect of it, trying to make that better move. And I guess it did it going into the after hours here, then pre-market in the morning the next day, but it wasn't really the best trade. Wasn't really the greatest trade out there. So it's up a little bit from yesterday's close, but I think that we could do better on others. Now, Wolf, I saw Wolf make a move earlier here just before, and it's actually a stock that a lot of us are familiar with. If you're a pet lover, a dog lover, cat lover, it's Petco. Wolf. You'd figure, why is Petco like a $3 stock? Why is Petco, down so much from its IPO? Well, Fausto always says, you are what your record says you are, right? So, it's a famous football quote, I think, from Parcells, right? But just to say, though, whatever news came out yesterday, maybe it's earnings, nice move up today. As long as the order book fills in a little bit more for this trade, I'll add it. Looks good. Oh, that's right. We had the open also yesterday, OPEN. This is, I guess, some other ticker to it, but OPEN, what a nasty trade this thing was yesterday, huh? And I wasn't saying like, oh, we had the open trade as if it was a good thing. We were hoping for it to be a good thing in the morning session, but it failed to break over 8, came back down. And for what it was worth, it was like an okay short. It was like a decent little short down, but then it tried to move back up going into the afternoon. It teased us. It was a giant tease. So I'm a little reluctant with adding open on our watch list more for that reason. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, also shame on you. Maybe 3 times, shame on me. But that doesn't mean I'm going to keep going back to the well on something that looks very staticky, chaotic. We'll keep it on our side list. We'll come back to it if we need to. AEHL, pop and drop. I think this also moved from the other day, didn't it? Yeah, so I guess in relation to last week, it's still kind of strong, huh? If it were to flip this 350-ish, 355-ish into a support, then I'd say there's a real good chance for a much better move. All right, so I'm kind of selling myself with putting this on our list for the time being. I like the AMBR more for the time for right now. I like the Wolf trade a lot more for right now. MBOT, I liked a little bit earlier. I'd called it out saying if it were to hold over 2 and 204, I guess it's still kind of doing that, but now it's pulling back. Webull, I don't know what can happen on Webull. It's up over 8% right here. So, you know what? This is the only one I'll do this with just because I know a lot of us are, not to say a fan of the company, but you're looking for a move on it after it IPO'd. I mean, most IPOs honestly get crushed. So I don't really see any headline on Webull. They had earnings the other week. They dropped. They're at all-time lows. So if this is a bit of a short covering event or maybe the beginning of a squeeze over time, either way, we don't need news to see it. So I'll put it on our list. CWVX. So a couple other larger cap stocks. CoreWeave, CRWV is moving on up this morning. I think Oracle is moving on up pretty nicely this morning. AMD was skyrocketing on up just before. Actually, out of all those, we are most familiar with AMD. So I'll kind of prefer the AMD trade a bit more out of those, like Oracle and CoreWeave. I'd rather go with the one that we do best on and the one that trades the most volume. CIFR is up a little bit this morning. Let's see, anything else? Rerun the scan one more time even. Yeah, that's pretty much all we got from the gainer side here. So I'll add Cypher, CIFR. This is a fun stock too whenever it's moving in good direction. Looks like there's a small gap. This could even try and fill probably a couple of gaps here over time. But from the daily chart here, the close on November 10th, gap down next day. So that could be something to look for. Yeah, I'll add it. All right. Now, I'll tell you, we already have a good list for pre-Thanksgiving. We got a pretty damn good list here for the market open. So we'll definitely take it. And if there's anything else that looks good, Brad, Michael, Kathleen, Pat, any of us here right now in chat, let me know if there's anything that you'd want me to take a look at. Wait, time out. This is something I'm going to take a look at. So you're telling me that CIFR, Cypher Common, is up 5.8%, but the warrant is down 34%? I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. That's weird. I was going to say this is not some inverse ETF. It's a W. So that's actually a warrant. I got to ask Fausto about that when he jumps back on the mic here, when he comes back, because he might have at least some better explanation. But I can't really provide one to you right now there. So we're not going to trade that. NTNX went down yesterday. If it pulls back lower towards 50, maybe I'll focus on it later on. But even right now, the market's been pretty good just overnight. So really not much else on the loser side here. Leda, as always, appreciate you. Thank you. I'm very thankful for you joining us on YouTube alongside our live trading room. What else we got here? Anyone else? Market is not open tomorrow. We got Thanksgiving. I got a bunch of turkey to eat. I got my eyes to rest. I'm not looking at my screen on a holiday. So that's going to be the same for the whole market there, I'd say. Nuke, nah, kind of low volume right now. I guess it did pop and drop yesterday, Brad. Very skimpy volume out there anyway on the order book. So, I even chatted Fausto about this yesterday. He's like, hell no. He wrote me back actually a little bit more blunt than that. Let's just put it that way. But he's like, hell no. So, oh no, absolutely, Brad. Absolutely. No, I appreciate you asking. So it's just good to know, maybe if it makes some incredible pop and maybe if there's a much better order book, maybe. But this doesn't have a great order book. In fact, this is the worst of the worst. You got a 13,000 share seller now out there trying to push this thing down lower. So even if Fausto said hell no, I'd probably say no for that reason. Right? All right, let me just check out Benzinga Pro, and that'll do, folks, here. I just want to make sure all of our students and myself have enough time to prep up, get ready for the market open here. Got the bull trade already. CYPH is kind of popping now a little bit. Yeah, not really too much to focus on there for right now. MBOT, I didn't really commit to. I'll kind of keep on the side list for now. It wouldn't shock me if I call that out afterwards. Actually, you know what? The hell with it. That last little wiggle up right now. I saw that from the corner of my eye, and this thing was popping right back on up. All right, you know what? I'll add MBOT. That will do, though, folks. Hey, real briefly, again, a couple of housekeeping notes before we finish up. Doubleheader today. We have our big podcast with the great Jeffrey Hirsch, Traders Almanac. That'll be at 11 o'clock Eastern. And if you're on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc., scan that QR code with your phone, with your camera, or just go down to the link scrolling down below. You see it right there, ct.co/free. That'll get you access to our live event later on today, Introductory to Trading webinar hosted by Fausto. He'll be back just for the market open for all of our students here inside our live trading room. But otherwise, hey, just quick heads up, if you have not found this yet, we've just made a couple of mentions of it inside our live trading room directly on our website. Just check it out just this week going into the weekend, I believe, Black Friday deals. So right there, you can click it right here, this yellow button. It'll take you directly to our offers page. And really, we just show this because for members here that have access to our classes, well, of course, you're good to go. But if you are looking for additional access to coaching, to just IT tech support with Rich, we have only so many hours in our own day. So we could only do so much at once, right, guys? That's where for coaching and even for Rich, but even as such, we're actually offering special phase 3 course access 1 month only. But actually check that out as well. If you are just a bronze student, if you're looking to join our Traders Summit event going into 2026, if you missed out just last month in October, we're offering it at a big discount. So if you haven't checked it out just yet, again, it's right on our homepage, cybertradinguniversity.com. You'll see it right there. Black Friday. Check it out if you have not done so yet. But hey, folks, we're going to get ready for the market open. If you're on social media, we'll be back coming up in just a bit. Again, podcast plus workshop webinar today by Fausto. And then for all of us here inside our live trading room, we'll be back coming up in just about 12 or so minutes for the opening bell. Talk to you all soon.